Contractor State License Law. Law regulating contractors. Contractor State License Law is the body of California state law regulating general and specific trade contractors. Licensees in the law are overseen by the Contractor State License Board. In California, as well as in many states, this group keeps a file of complaints against contractors, can suspend licenses, and actively works to make arrests and fine unlicensed contractors. The Contractor State License Law is the body of law which the board uses to do its work and which contractors have agreed to abide by. Fee simple to feasible. Required conditions before or after a transaction. Fee simple to feasible is another way of saying fee simple qualified. Fee simple qualified is an estate for which the title holder, the grantee, has a fee simple title subject to a condition. If the condition is not met, then the title passes back to the grantor. It is a conditional estate based on that condition. A condition subsequent is a condition that must occur after the transaction, and a condition precedent is a condition that must occur prior to the transaction. The classic example is that of a specific use being required of a property. A man gave his property to the city to use as a library. Years later, the city stopped using the property as a library, and the man's heirs demanded the property back. The man's family regained title because the title held by the city was a fee simple to feasible / qualified title, and the condition was that the property be used as a library. Just as a contrast, a fee simple absolute is a transfer with no conditions. Synonyms: fee simple qualified. Antonyms: fee simple absolute. Related words: estate, title, freehold estate. Bequest, gift of personal property by will. The words bequest and legacy both refer gifts of personal property through a will. Both refer to gifts of personal property through a will. A device is a gift of real property by will. Synonyms: legacy. Related words: will, devise. Blind advertising. Advertising without broker-agent license number. Blind advertising is advertising which does not have the license number of the broker/agent who ran the ad. Blind advertising is illegal. One of the reasons we don't like blind advertising is that people are possibly less responsible in business when anonymous. Real estate requires a fiduciary duty, which is a position of trust. License numbers help us to maybe know a little bit better who we are dealing with. Blind advertising is advertising without the license number of the broker agent who ran the ad. Related words: false advertising. Specific lien. Lien on a single property of a debtor. A specific lien is a lien that is on a single property. A general lien is a lien on several properties of a debtor. Remember that a lien is an interest in real property by someone other than the owner for the purpose of collecting an unpaid debt. Specific liens are possibly more typical than general liens. It might be helpful to remember the name of a specific lien pertains to a single and, quote, specific, end quote, property. A specific lien is a lien on a single property of a debtor. Wetlands. Areas where soil is covered by a shallow layer of water. Wetlands are areas where the soil is covered by a shallow layer of water. Wetlands are the home of life important to our ecosystem. Hence, the destruction of wetlands has a long-lasting impact on our ecology. Wetlands are defined as areas where soil is covered by a shallow layer of water. Prima facie, Latin meaning trustable as it appears on its face. Prima facie is the legal concept that something is true on its face. It might be said, quote, "At first look, there appears to be a prima facie case here," end quote. Or, quote, "We believe that we have a prima facie case here," end quote. Prima facie is a fancy way of saying, quote, "We obviously have what we appear to have," end quote. It's like saying something isn't, quote, "rocket science," end quote. We are saying it's obvious. Prima facie is the way of saying that the case isn't rocket science. It is obvious what we have. Prima facie is the idea that something is true, just as it looks to be true. Fructus naturalis, naturally growing crops or vegetation. Naturally growing crops or vegetation on a real property is called Fructus naturalis and is attached to the property. Fructus industrialis is intentionally grown crops for the purpose of selling for a profit. Fructus industrialis and the word emblemens are synonyms. Growing roses, for example, with the purpose of selling them at the flower mart, makes them Fructus industrialis. Roses growing in the front flower bed for the purpose of making a property look nice would be Fructus naturalis. Fructus naturalis is included with any property sale, unless specifically excluded from the sale in the sale agreement. Antonyms: emblemens, Fructus industrialis. Related words: Fructus industrialis, emblemens. Attached lien, court-ordered payment and judgment attached to property. An attached lien is when a court has made a judgment that an owner must pay someone and attach the judgment to his or her property to make sure the judgment gets paid. A writ of attachment is the same thing. An attachment lien, or writ of attachment, is a specific and involuntary lien. The effect of a lis pendens, parentheses, a note on the property filed at the county clerk that the outcome of a lawsuit involving the property is pending, end parentheses, or an attachment lien, or writ of attachment, is the same. They all restrict the transfer of the property so that the property can be used to pay a judgment. An attachment lien is a court-ordered payment and judgment attached to real property. Synonyms: writ of attachment, related words, lis pendens. Easement, right to use another's land. An easement is the right to use land owned by someone else. An easement has a dominant tenement who benefits from the easement, and a servient tenement who bears the burden of the easement. Types of easements include express grant easement, express reservation easement, implied grant easement, implied reservation easement, easement by necessity, easement by prescription, and easement in gross. An easement by necessity is created by landlocked property. An easement in gross is the right to use a path across several adjoining properties. An easement by prescription is taken by conditions and uninterrupted by use by a single party and for a period of at least 5 years. An easement is the right to use real property owned by someone else for a specific purpose stated in the easement.